Did you guys see the Chris Rock special yet?
Yeah.
I did
All
not.
right. I watched.
I avoided it.
So here's what I did
Don't
actually,
sting me.
Woody. I saw the clips where he talks about Will Smith, went for the jugular, cut his fucking head off, like no mercy, no fucking salt in the fields. He went full bore.
You're allowed to
I'm
get
u-
revenge. I'm
I'm usually pretty good at doing that George Costanza thing, where if I get to sit in my living room, I can come up with some awful shit.
Yeah.
To say. I was at a loss. I was like, "You got it all, bro. You hit it."
A
From
year
top to
later.
bottom." The only thing he didn't do was go after the man's children, and that's where he stopped. He stopped just
Yeah.
short of hitting his kids. And but I mean, he did
That's
reference
good.
the kid like for the he was like, "Yeah, you fucking your son's friends." Your son's friend is fucking your wife or whatever. He's like going hard in the paint. So after seeing those shorts on YouTube, the 3 or 4 minutes that takes up in this special, I was like, shit, where is this special? It's on Netflix. So I clicked it. Man, I got like 8 minutes in, and it's
Shitty.
something about like he's still doing that. You know how Chris Rock sounds.
Yeah.
I want to
Like,
stop you there because that was my point. I like the show 7 out of 10. Chris Rock jokes are fat, so fucking fat. There is nothing but fat on that steak. Like a Chris Rock, it sounds like this. I'll be like, moms always be pushing strollers. Man, moms pushing strollers. I just see stroller pushing moms pushing strollers all the time. Moms be pushing strollers, moms. And I'm like, oh, fuck, he says the same.
He's in love with the sound of his own voice.
And it's like, good gosh, like this guy had 6 jokes that he stretched out for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Because every one
I
of
knew
them
it
is
was
the
gonna be that.
fattest
He's
joke
just-
you've ever heard a
He's
comedian
just
told.
talking so much.
Yeah.
There's so much going on and not much
Bad
being said.
timing.
He said he's speaking a lot and saying very little, and he's just really leaning into that classic Chris Rock like sort of delivery that I loved in his specials a decade or two ago. But now it's like, oh man, you're still doing the exact same thing. Like even Adam Sandler ain't out there singing Hanukkah songs.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
talk to your boy. Like he evolved a little. Like come on, do a different thing.
Yeah.
You know who else I don't find funny is Kevin Hart. Like when Kevin Hart does
find
his
him
stand-up
charming.
routines, I find him. I'll chuckle a bit, but there's no belly laugh for me. There's no almost crying. You know
I
what I
like
mean?
I haven't
Dave
watched much of his
Chappelle?
stand-up.
Dave Chappelle found a way to spit in white people's faces and make them enjoy it. Dave
kinda
Chappelle.
like
Well,
that.
he's
Okay, I would
like
do that.
he's a genuinely very funny guy, which
Dave
is why it's
Chappelle-
easy to laugh because he's
Dave
funny.
Chappelle's a fucking master at that. Like,
Yeah.
he's constantly like shitting on white people the whole time, and I don't mind because it's hilarious and it's
Yeah.
true. Almost everything he's saying is at least mostly true. I love when he talks about living amongst the poor
Yeah,
whites.
Yeah.
I love it.
Kyle, I think you sent
Trump's
me
not fighting
his,
for you. He's fighting for me.
Kyle, you sent me that clip of him like doing his SNL monologue,
Mhm.
and like you could see him like shifting nervously in a way that like
That's when
he
he's back
had
in
never
Kanye.
shifted before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
it was
when he's
like,
back
oh
in
damn,
Kanye a
like
little.
this has got Dave Chappelle scared. Like he's
Yeah.
not afraid of that kind of shit.
What did
He
Yeah.
doesn't
he
seem
do?
to be.
He backed Kanye? Is that what was he?
Just a
scared?
little
I don't
bit.
think
He
he
did a
does.
little.
Just a
He did.
little bit.
He
Or was
more
it
like
like
a
don't
a
remember
Jewish
exactly what he
thing?
said.
It
a
was his
little bit?
dog.
Yeah. He was pointing out how standing up against Jews can get you
He
screwed
said
up
if it's
type of thing.
Italians,
In a
it's the
different other-
mob. If
Oh,
it
yeah.
was what else? Something
Black
else.
people, it's a
this.
gang. If
It's a
Jews,
gang.
it's a coincidence.
No,
Yeah.
if it's a,
Yeah.
if it's the Jews, we don't talk about it.
It's a-
Yeah.
that was. I mean, that's a funny line. Like,
Old school Dave
I-
Chappelle, I can still watch it this day and start laughing my ass off. Like,
Yeah,
the Dave
what's
Chappelle
in
show.
the fridge? What's that purple stuff? You know what I mean? Like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh. When his wife friend Chet was gonna race the cop,
Yeah.
they're at the stoplight, and he does his white guy voice, and it goes, "Hey, Dave, let's race."
Yeah.
And Dave goes, "I was smoking, so I should have said one thing, and I said, nigga, gotta do what nigga I do." You know, it's like classic Dave Chappelle stuff. Like,
I think it's really cool that him and Joe Rogan have had that like friendship
Yeah,
going
the connection.
way back, like to so far. I saw a clip a couple days ago, and it's Dave Chappelle was on the streets, I think in New York, and he's filming a skit for his show, for the Chappelle show, where he's like, best breasts in New York City or New York City gold ribbon titties or something.
Yeah.
And he's just like ogling, like, come here, ma'am, you've got A-class titties, and like giving her a fucking
Those are
award.
some New York City titties.
Yeah.
Puts the pen
And
on.
Joe Rogan was literally walking down the sidewalk and was like, Dave? And he's like, Joe? Hey, you want to be in a skit, Joe Rogan? and so Joe Rogan's the one holding the box full of ribbons for titties.
Yeah.
And helping
He had a
them
lot
judge
of-
the titties.
He had a lot of great guests on that show. Like,
Yeah.
oh my
Mhm.
god, like, oh shoot, what's it? John,
Charlie
the guy who
Murphy.
plays the guitar, John, and he goes into
Mayer?
the John Mayer. When he had John Mayer on, and he goes, "Oh, this is what black people like, and what the black people like, and what white people like," and he goes in the barber shop, and you know, John's going crazy on the guitar. And the black guys goes, "Man, shut the fuck up!" And then he takes the cape off the drum set, and Questlove is there, and he starts playing the drums, and they're going like this, and then they bring in the Spanish guy, and he starts singing, and then the Spanish people start there. Like he had some great guests on that show, man. Like that was amazing, perfect TV on.
I like Charlie Murphy. I think he's probably my favorite part of
Oh my gosh! Oh,
his
Jesus.
skits were just really funny.
Skits.
R.I.P.
That shit came out right as I was graduating high school, so we watched that nonstop.
Oh
Love
my
that stuff.
gosh! It was between that and the Haters Club, and
Yeah.
Charlie
I
Murphy.
hate
One
a
of the-
ball.
yeah, when they're looking
the
at
racial
women pictures, and
Into
when,
the side of
when
Mississippi.
he sees a picture of Rosie O'Donnell, and she goes, "She looks like she wears men's." She looks like she wears men's underwear with a dick hole in the front, and they all start laughing, and they're like really laughing. It's not just for the camera type of thing. Like they're just roasting and roasting. It's like, oh my gosh, great